Greetings and welcome back to another supporters stream. Let me unmute everybody. I'm sorry for the delay. I was trying to get Joshu TV to work. I actually chatted with somebody who uses it on a regular basis and told me the alleged things I was missing. But right now we're getting the issue where it's telling me too many redirects. That means there's a problem with the Sentinel bot activated. Scanning your browser. You'll be redirected shortly. Yeah, piss off. My hell. This is why for those use Joshu TV. No, when Joshu TV has a functional website that actually works, I'll consider it. But right now it's just sending me back to page isn't working. Try clearing your cookies. Error, too many redirects. Error, too many redirects. This is a web design thing. I have encountered it a few times. This happens when you have an error in your htaccess file where you are redirecting the www to the non-www, but the non-www back to the www. It just keeps on syncing in a giant circle. This is the exact link that I grabbed directly from Joshu TV. So I set it up to try and stream on it, and it didn't, basically it just fizzled out. It didn't go anywhere. I set it all up and I talked to a guy that uses it, and he says, oh, well, what you need to do is you need to go to, the link. So when you set the stream up, above the box where you set it up is where the links are. And I copied that exact link and put it on, and that doesn't show up either. So there should, in theory, be a live streams button, which is supposed to show you current live streams. Okay, they have some law and crime thing over there. Despite I, in theory, once again, am streaming to Joshu TV, the link that they give me to point you to the stream doesn't work. It's completely broken. The stream, once again, is not on my system. So at this point in time, screw you, Joshu TV. I am not spending any more time trying to figure out Joshu TV or putting things up there. If you guys want me to use it, you guys are going to need to spearhead with Joshu TV to get him to fix his damn website. That's the point. I mean, I'm not wasting any more time on his stupid website.
And you shouldn't.
Clearly isn't working. I am restreaming to 5 different places, and we have, Rumble, Twitch, DLive, and Odyssey. In addition to YouTube, you can use one of those. Anyway, rant over. How's everybody doing today? How's it going, Dan?
Yeah, it's still going okay. The weather was nice yesterday, so I went outside and did my last rounds around the house before the snow flies.
Oh boy, is the snow going to fly soon?
You never know in Michigan.
Well, I mean, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm actually perched on top of a random mountain. I think in the Cascades. I might have changed mountain ranges, but I might be in the Cascades. I mean, I may not be. Is there one further west than Cascades? So I'm fairly close to the ocean.
Put it this way. I don't want to wait until it's so cold outside my body freezes. It's from standing in the wind.
Yeah, it was like 65 last night here on top of the mountain, which is totally shockingly hot for being on top of a mountain. But it was beautiful.
It was like 38 here last night.
I had the window open late at night. I was working late, of course, like I usually do, and I actually had the back door open like I have now. And I wish you guys could see the scene. Here, let me see if I can fix this or not. That is the scenery outside my windows.
Wow.
And I get surprisingly
we're
good internet here.
We're at the time of the year here where you get massive swings in temperature. In cold fronts, it'll be 72 one day. It'll come through. You'll get rain and freezing rain. The next day it'll be a high of 38.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't get any. I plan on staying here for a few more days. I'm at a spot I don't have to move. It's Forest Service land, so I can legally stay here 2 or 3. I think it's 2 weeks before I have to move. I get good internet. I'm just not moving. And the arc of the sun is perfect. I got a bunch of stuff done. My batteries are still completely full right now. And I actually have heated all of my water today with the solar kettle. I have actually cooked my dinner, which I will have after the stream is over, on the solar oven. So, I mean, okay, I'm not moving for this spot for a while. Save the gas money,
Right.
But that's the thing. I did put up for you guys a website on the current site. Of course, we will be changing the website eventually, but I did drop up a new site, switchedtolinux.com/live, which is going to have all of the stream links. Of course, the Joshua TV stream link is listed, and it doesn't work. So you can always check that out, and I'll make sure that that goes on the new website as well, and I'll try and have some fun, flashy button there when we actually are live or have something scheduled, so that you can actually catch all the stream links over there. So that way we have a way that you can catch the stream links without social media and things like that. It's all directly on my website. We have YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, Twitch, DLive, and allegedly we are on Joshua TV. If anybody out there can get it to work, it's there on the link they told me it was at, but I can't really confirm. So with that, Salvu, how's it going your way?
I'm doing fine.
All right. Any fun, exciting stories your way?
Not that I remember. I am involved in the development of a game. My involvement is mainly commenting on the make system, how to compile the game. But I mainly do the Norwegian translation. And today we were talking, there was someone who forked a game that I'm involved with, UFO Alien Invasion, or UFO AI, as the package name most likely is. And there's been, someone has forked the repository and started coding. And now the official, one of the official development of the original SourceForge project is talking about doing a release. There's a few release type bugs that they need to fix, and maybe version 2.6 is coming along hopefully before the end of the year. Nice. So that's nice.
Cool. Yeah, the Peppermint streams have been quite quiet lately, so I haven't had to do much work with them.
Oh yeah, there's I did successfully. I downloaded Linux Lite, which that might be released by now. I downloaded the RC a couple days ago, so I'm going to try and have that video up on Saturday. Being as that I'm not moving for a few days, I actually think I might have time to get that up. So stay tuned for that. We also have the Tramjaro update as well, which I've been putting on the back burner because I'm the developer would like to come on the show live if we can find a time so that he can talk through it as well. But he's literally on the other end of the world from me, and so finding a good time to do that will be difficult. So if it doesn't happen, I'll just go ahead and release the stream on it, or maybe we'll find a time that we can pre-record something that he can also be on. Things like that. I don't know. I'll do one of those two. I'm trying to get some of the developers more involved, particularly for the smaller distros in the reviews so that we can hear from them as well. Let's check in on comments. Right now we have 13/14 watching on the Tubies. Jeffrey Zahn says, doesn't look like anybody cares. I must have some comments cut off. Never using a dating app, met over half a year ago and on old Yahoo chats. There you go. All right. Isn't Yahoo the name of a town in anime where the largest hotel name's Google? I don't know. Let's see. Dating apps are just the digital version of meeting losers. Hello, Faisal. YouTube is a good 30-45 seconds behind Twitch. Oh, that might be because I got everything started and then I went back and I hit the go live. So YouTube has a go live button. The other ones automatically just start. And so on YouTube, I have to start the streamer and push the go live button, making it a little bit different, but it means that I can actually have a slight control in the delay. Torpedo Kitties, that's the whole submarine. I know, right? Cat and Pursing, Slim Pickens. Yeah, had that 45 seconds on Sirius the other day. No way YouTube can catch copyright that fast. I know. Kitty's so cute. Yep, I know, right? Stand by or sit by. Sit by, I guess. Kitty still looks like a pro wrestler. He's fat, I'm telling you. Let's see. Razzle Review. Greetings. Not Tom-friendly interface. And a doctor needs to be fixed big time. What? Oh, Doctor Who needs to be fixed big time? I don't know. I've watched an episode of Doctor Who just to see what all the buzz is about, and I just don't get it. I don't get it.
You
No.
either are into it or you're not. It's
I
that
guess.
kind of a
I
show.
guess. Yeah. Gonna be 48 here in South Carolina, 41 degrees in South Dakota. I don't know. Love the scenery. I am loving it. It's beautiful. I actually the moon. There's a couple. That's basically I have a series of like 7 cascading mountain ranges back. The moon rises right over it. I got up this morning and watched the sunrise over the mountains as well. It was so totally cool. Let's see. By the way, SwitchedTolinux, I'm the only one who has trouble with chats not displaying using Brave browser. I don't know. Anybody else having Brave browser having issues displaying chats? Oh, YouTube. One more thing, I guess. YouTube did launch the official handles now, so I do actually have at switchedtolinux as the YouTube handle. Of course, any of the bigger channels they automatically gave it to us. They automatically gave it to me for the SwitchedTolinux, and they automatically gave it to me for Writing Done Right. They did not give it to me automatically for Our Walk in Christ, which is bigger than Writing Done Right, although has a smaller view count. And I didn't see one yet for Tux Traveler, which does not yet have 1,000 subscribers. It's coming close to 1,000, but not yet at 1,000. Tomorrow we are doing a video on just doing some van upgrades, and then I think from there we might get back to some of the travel stuff. I need to start recording some more van upgrade or van build videos in the middle, because I did all these like national park, and there's very little in between. So I'll get more of that stuff up.
I'm not sure if that is a good or a bad thing when they are giving that a new feature to the bigger channels on your writing channel. Is that a big channel?
I think by view count, by daily view count, the writing channel is actually my second largest. So if I just look at the basic minimum level, so if I don't post any content for a few days in a row, SwitchedTolinux has about 1,000 or 2,000 daily views. Hopefully we should get that a lot higher, but it should have about 2,000 daily views. Writing channel has about 150 daily views, which is really good for a channel that is very small and has only one video a week. Tux Traveler has maybe 35, 40, and the Christian channel has like 15, which is my oldest channel and has the second most number of videos. YouTube just does not push that content. And I'm not going to be doing Thursday shows on that channel, at least until I need to finish the current audiobook and then get the next book into the publication, which is meaning doing the audiobook as well. Right now we're doing AI edits, and then I'm going to send it out to 1 or 2 more editors, and then we're going to go ahead and release the new Kings of All Creation book, and then I need to do the audiobook for that, but I have, I think, 2 weeks left to finish the audio on Half My Life, and so until I have all that stuff done and relaunch the new SwitchedTolinux site, I'm not going to be spending extra time doing that, because YouTube is just pushing it down, and I could either use the time building up another platform, or I can say, never mind right now, let's get SwitchedTolinux up in priority and running like a well-oiled machine, and then we'll go ahead and get into building that platform up, which I don't know which is going to be next. Is it going to be the Christian platform next, or should we focus more on the writing platform? Being is that I have actually been asked to teach at one of the writers' conferences next summer, so I'm scheduled on that to do that, and so that might launch the writing channel really big, really fast. And I don't know. It's not a huge conference, but
college
it is
students
a
ought to
reasonable
really
one.
dig that.
What's that?
College students ought to really dig that channel, because none of them can write.
You'd think. The problem is, at the last time I was at one of the writers' conferences, we had a college student who was in publishing, and so she was the most arrogant person I've ever met in my life, because she's sitting there like, well, I have the college degree in this, and so when it comes to getting a job, I'm definitely going to get it because I actually have the degrees. I said, your college degree does not mean anything to you. I said, they do not care if you've had a couple classes in publishing. They care if you are actually published.
Well, it means something to her. It doesn't mean anything to anyone else.
Well, that's the problem, is she thinks it means something to everybody else. And she thinks she knows more about this than anybody else because she's had college courses in quote-unquote publishing. It's like, what are you talking about? Okay, let me see how many books you've published. Well, I haven't done any yet. I had a course in theory. Okay, great. That's the reason I left the last Christian Writers Conference I was in. They're like, you stick with us and we'll help you get published. Lady, I have 7 books published, and I actually sell more books in 1 month than the average self-published book makes in a lifetime. All you guys together have 3 books between you, and they're all pay to play, paid $1,500 to a self-publisher and have sold 5 copies. I don't think that I need to stick around you for you to help me figure out how to write a book. I just don't think I need that. But, anyway, I'm saucy today. I don't know. Well, I don't know if we'll actually get to the topic.
Man.
All right. Let's see. Real big snowballs coming here in northern Minnesota. Is it snowing there in northern Minnesota?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Linux Lite is not just another Ubuntu spin. It is an Ubuntu spin, but it has a lot of things that makes it stand out. I think that Linux Lite is a respectable Ubuntu-based distro. Just got here. Hope all is well. Also about this dating app stuff. Yeah, we will get into the dating app stuff in a moment. For classic Doctor Who over the new ones, Doctor Who equals Tom Baker. I don't know who that is. Y'all are moving into an area I know nothing about. The one thing I know about Doctor Who was it 2-3 years ago they went woke and decided that Doctor Who needed to become a transgender, and they started hiring a lady for it or something. But in theory, it doesn't completely hurt with the lore, because I guess Doctor Who constantly reincarnates. I don't know. I have no idea, nor do I really care to understand. Sorry. Like Saucy Tom, sharp as a knife through paper. I know, right? When I get saucy, I don't have to, I talk
you just save some of that for tomorrow night.
I should. Maybe I'll still be saucy tomorrow. I don't know. Writing a book is my first retirement project. Well, awesome. Well, shoot me a line if you need some help. Things could be worse. It could be summer in Winnipeg. There you go. All right. That's YouTube comments. Let's see. Oh, we actually have more people over on Odyssey watching than we have on the Tubies. I think you're talking about G-Bush. Let's see. Just missed the rant. Odyssey, the only stream that matters. There you go. You probably didn't pay much as YouTube. Probably not. Everything's done in LibreCoin. I just don't have a means to transfer the LibreCoin out. So I'm just going to sit here and hoard it for a while. And when it becomes big and significant or something, I'll do something with it. I think I do actually have a LibreCoin account, I think. So I can move stuff into there, I guess. Steven Crowder covered the app in question this morning. Yes, Steven Crowder this morning did a really hilarious question. What was it? It was called The Leftovers, I think. And it was glorious. Western Washington is heavy smoke now for the next few days. I just drove through Western Washington. I know it's heavy smoke. I actually took my smoke alarms down for a while. I was, let's see, where was I at? Okay, this last week I took them down longer this last week. I passed through the Cedar Creek fire by Eugene, which was very smoky. But yeah, actually I drove through a few areas of Washington, heavy smoke, where I did pull the smoke alarms down. That's the last thing you need to be.
All the fires they have out there over the years. I mean, every year they report on huge fires. You'd think everything would be burnt to the ground by now.
Well, I mean, so if a fire is getting close to human civilization, they deal with it. If it's not, they sit there and they monitor it. Because most of them fizzle in and fizzle out and fizzle in and fizzle out.
Well, yeah, water's really kind of scarce out there.
It's not as scarce in Western Washington as it is a rainforest, so it's not that scarce. But but here's my thought. I was thinking about this the other day. You know, if Mount Rainier is the next volcano that blows up, it's going to turn the entire Pacific Northwest into a desert.
Yeah,
because I think there's 26 glaciers on top of Mount Rainier that actually are what supplies water to nearly that whole quarter of the country. And if that volcano goes, it will completely destroy all those glaciers. Although Mount St. Helen has one glacier hanging off of the top of it right now. Let's see. Not sure what you just said. And it's found Odyssey, library, RSS feed system. Really happy with it. Very good. There's forest fires all around Seattle area. The area is backed up. Yeah, I drove through that one. That one, well, at least one of them was in Cascades. I drove through the one in Cascades because I was in Seattle area 2 weeks ago. Maybe last week too, allegedly. I mean, I was around Olympia last week. Showed an alternate version called The Left Stuff. Yep. Let's see. BSD has plenty of advantages over both. Tons of tools that BSD lacks. All right. Subject of the video. Tried dating app for a week. Never again. Try to meet somebody or someone else. Yeah. Or single moms, safe havens. There you go. I'm also not a Doctor Who person at all. Don't hate us for it, man. Don't hate us for it. Maybe magma's bubbling up. All the trees seem to be on top of the mountains, the base. Mark Twain wrote about how thick smoke was from wildfires in Pacific Northwest. Yep. That's right. We have 3 over there on Rumble right now. Nobody over there chatting. Hey, we have a couple people. Selbu is over there. Well, we have Selbu and Die Master, but only one person's on right now. Selbu, you still over there, or is it Die Master's over there right now?
That's me.
All right, so you're the one over there right now, and nobody's over on D Live, and screw Joshua TV if it exists.
And also, I was the first to comment.
Wow. So. All right, we are halfway through the show, so let's go ahead and get into our topic, shall we? Hopefully it's been fun. I don't know. Maybe we'll go ahead and clip this part out for a little bit later. In fact, let's do that. Let's go ahead and stay on topic for this, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll chat and hang out, and I'll just I'll keep this one up, but I'll go ahead and release that for the people that want the shorter version. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, guys. So today we wanted to talk about the right stuff. This is a conservative dating app, and so it came out, and it is nearly every company right now. We have this weird polarizing thing in the country, and it's a really bad thing. We need to stop. People are like getting booted off. Like Kanye West, I completely think he's a crazy raving lunatic, but was booted off of his bank today. And so it's like, what is going on where people in this country, in America, where all of these banks, by the way, are bailed out by the government, and they don't have the basic freedoms of saying things that maybe are uncouth, maybe are not conventional, but certainly are not illegal, and get off the banking system and be like, oh, make your own banking system, and then make your own social media. We see how that works with Gab. Make your own X, Y, or Z, and every time people attempt to make their own X, Y, or Z, it lends itself to even more issues. It would be better if none of these big companies got involved in any form of politics at all, one way or the other, and they just let people be people. But because we have this world that does keep on breaking itself out, this app came out, which was targeting conservatives, to have a dating app targeting conservatives, because nearly every other one would like to know your pronouns, and will call you a misogynist, or they'll call you a transphobe if you are a straight cis white male who would like to actually date a human being, adult, with a vagina, who was born that way. Okay, we'll put it that way. Like, oh, no, I'm a girl. How do you know I'm a girl? Well, because I chopped everything off and inverted the sausage. No, and I don't like that. Oh, you're transphobic. No, and so they had to create their own stupid app. The problem is I would not get on this app particularly. I wouldn't get on any of the apps, really. So I pulled down to, this is airmail.news. I have no idea of their direction. I don't know if they're conservative or liberal. I know nothing about these guys. If any of you, do you guys know about any of these guys or not? But anyway, this first article just goes through what it is. It's a dating app, something out of 1990s purity wars, right down to the spokes model. It's probably a left-wing article based on the fact that they're really leaning negative towards their description. But basically, it's an app that basically wants to say, we're going to hook you up with somebody where the very first question of politics is solved. Now, what we know based on polls, and I think they have the information in either this article or the next one I have, that Republicans are more open to dating Democrats than Democrats are open to dating Republicans, but it's not a super, super positive thing. In fact, they say right here, 78% versus 56%. So 78% of Republicans are willing to date a Democrat versus 57% of Democrats are willing to date a Republican. Whether or not that is a valid thing or not, the point is that they want to start a question where if politics is important, if you're both on the right stuff, then allegedly you at least have that one question that you shouldn't talk about answered, and probably a few other ones as well. So that's kind of the approach that they're taking. And of course it's targeted towards that, and that's kind of their approach. Before we get into the controversy in the other article, anybody have any initial thoughts? Dan, any initial thoughts on this?
Politics is something you should save for your first date.
I mean, it does have an exciting first date, but okay. Salvu?
Yeah, that may very well end up being the last date as well. So,
well, and that's
then
the
you'll
thing.
know if it's an up or it's a downer.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to say. Hey, we don't want to go in, so you can avoid the politics. Basically, skip the first, the first date, so you can kind of know where they are. Now, the reason I wanted to call this the case study in app privacy is to alert you that anytime you have these apps do a ton of data collection on you. And the big problem with dating apps in general, not just The Right Stuff or Steven Crowder's parody, The Leftovers, or any of the other ones, Tinder or eHarmony or Match.com, any of these things, the big worry about them is that they all do profile analyses, you answer questions, and these are companies that are looking to make a profit. And so they will turn things around to other resources. That's kind of
dating apps, are a little more intrusive than your average. You're signing up for an account because they get into questions. Are you a male, a female? What age range are you in? And what you're looking for. And then they want you to write a profile that tells the system about you, things you like and dislike. And that's getting really intrusive when you start discussing, I like hobbies, dogs, cats, and all this other stuff. And I don't like this, that, and everything. When you're trying to create a profile that looks attractive to somebody you might want to date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And that's the biggest danger. And that is really exactly what the problem was. Because in this one here from the New York Post, right-wing dating app users on The Right Stuff allegedly contacted by the three letters after answering specific questions that the thing would like to ask you. So what is alleged right now by not one guy, but multiple guys, including one of them who is allegedly a coder on the project, is that the project is really keeping tabs on people and sending information to the Feddies so that they can come and harass you. Now, whether or not this was an intentional thing or the data was collected by some third-party marketing firm that just turned it over, these are all questions. But let's go ahead and just have a look at what the New York Post had to say. Users of right-wing dating app founded by former Orange Man Bad staffers have reported that they're receiving calls from the Feddies after answering one particular question on their dating profiles. The app in question, The Right Stuff, never mind, has already been dubbed a failure after next to no women sign up for the app's invite-only system. So it's doomed to fail from the beginning. It's invite-only, has to be conservative. And there's almost no women on it. So, I mean, hey, may as well just convert it to the wrong stuff and just turn it into a gay dating app. It'll be perfect, I mean, really. But now a third complaint is emerging from users that answering a profile prompt questioned that asked a specific date near the beginning of the year was ... has led to them being contacted by law enforcement. So the date in question was the same day in shortly after the election when Orange Man Bad has allegedly, although completely denied by the FBI and by every other form of evidence, allegedly, possibly may or may not have, we'll just end the answer right there. A quick scroll through the reviews in the app store revealed several comments complaining of a phone call by a three-letter agency shortly after filling out their profile. So here are the the ones in question. We'll go ahead and read these verbatim, YouTube overlords. These are simply reviews on Apple's system. If you have a problem with them, tell Apple to take them down. Okay, app asks about that date. Harmless, right? I said I was there because I was. I'm a patriot. That's why I'm on this dating app. I use this app for hardly an evening, and it's already coincidence I get a call from the FBI the same day. Seriously, what stunt are they trying to pull? Whoever developed this has to be a deep state setting us up. I came here to find love, not a warrant. Okay. FBI Honeypot says it doesn't tell you that you need an invite until you've uploaded it and shared a bunch of personal info. Some of the questions and answers can add to your profile look like stuff the Feddies would want to know. Don't trust this app, says I have a friend who worked as a coder on the app, and he showed me proof that the FBI added a backdoor access so they could spy on patriots and download their location history. This app is a hoax. Don't download it. Don't use. And unsafe. I answer the questions about that date honestly, and the next day I have 2 police officers at my door telling me they've got a call alleged I was involved in bad stuff. This app was clearly created by the donkey people as a way to subvert our constitutional rights as a conservative Americans. Do not use this app unless you want to be harassed by left-wing fascists. Very interesting indeed. And so allegedly what they're saying here is that simply using this app has had the police or FBI come pounding on their door shortly after. So, of course, is it confirmedly written by Trump staffers? It is. And so who else had involved? Did the code get put in there inadvertently? Did the code get put in there accidentally? Or, as I kind of want to talk about here, what has happened is when you're talking about the apps in general, every app is based on series of code libraries or simply dropped in. And the programmers don't have to build the analytics. They don't have to build the fingerprinting. They don't have to build any things. All they do is they say, oh, you want browser fingerprinting? Just add this library. Do you want IP address collection? This fingerprinting. Do you want to do this? Just each one of these. You simply build your app by adding in libraries that are already pre-built. And so in using these different libraries, what we start to see is that this app and every other app like it is simply being used to collect the data, and this data is too easy to be passed on to other people. That's kind of my thought on it. All right, what do you guys think?
I think, okay, to start with, if you're on any social media platform and you're talking to somebody and you're asked if you've been to a Orange Man Bad pep rally and you get into details with it and stuff like that, that's inviting trouble at your front door. I mean, at that point, anything in that realm that asks you about that person and asks you, and you answer yes, and they want details, and you tell them what you thought about it, you're done. You're in trouble.
Concur.
Yeah, and not only that reminds me this YouTube channel that I follow, Trent and Ali, who in Utah built their own house, and now they are building a garage, which are almost done. Her parents live in DC, on the outskirts of DC, and they were visiting her parents at Christmas just before that, and they left for her back the day after the events, and someone that is following the channel supposedly sent a tip to the FBI that they were in DC and that they should be looked into, and so they had so just visiting your parents, if your parents live are in DC, and if you visited them on the same date and talking about it on the internet could end you in an interview with the FBI. In their case, the FBI 2 agents came to their house and interviewed them and discovered that there was nothing going on, and the tip was bogus. But they had to investigate, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
It's really funny.
Oh,
It's really funny.
Before you get
in-
into that, Dan, I want to point out Trent Nally is actually one of the top YouTubers that got involved in the whole national park lawsuit stuff that's I talked about on the Tux Travel channel. They are one of the ones that was fined thousands of dollars for simply doing YouTube videos in national parks. Anyway, go ahead, Dan.
Well, you know, back in the 80s and the 90s, you know, we worried mostly about the feds tapping into our phone calls and listening into what we had to say on the phone. Now it's progressed that we have this thing called the internet. They're interested in reading everything that's on it and every piece of information, which is an unimaginable amount of stuff to comb through. I would probably estimate that they have some AI looking for buzzwords in certain situations, but it's turned into a nightmare where nobody's safe using any form of communication unless they're in the same room with you and the door's locked and your phone's shut off or in another room.
And don't forget the lights are also turned on. I mean, we talked about a lot of ways that you can still spy on people's conversations using lasers.
You can't talk to nobody anymore without getting run over.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. This is why we need to have some solid laws about the data collection, because if the laws are in place, then the packages to spy on people are going to become illegal. And this is why, you know, I think only fools downloaded this stupid app. Only fools thought of it. But I see it all the time. And I watch a fair amount of conservative talk shows and stuff. Every one of them complains, all these left-wing guys. And then every one of them keeps on using their stock Android. They keep on using their Windows. They keep on using. It's like, guys, make a statement by getting off of it. That's what we want to do on Switch to Linux, is empower and teach people why they should.
The problem with laws is they're not effective.
Correct.
I mean, you
but
write all the laws you want.
Point.
All they do is charge them a few $1 million and let them go. If somebody got put in jail for responsibility.
But they are a starting point. That's the point, though. They're a starting point. I do not agree that obviously the laws are not super effective. If they were, people wouldn't be getting shot downtown.
I mean, we got cars out there killing people. Who's responsible for that? They need to be in jail.
Correct. And that's what does need to happen. But without the law established, there is no possible way to have a jail sentence. But yeah, I think we need to start seeing the jail sentences. I mean, look at what is just happening right now to just deterrence, not jail sentences much, but look at what just happened to Alex Jones today. Right? For a guy who is on the air all the time, and he's controversial. I don't watch him and I don't like him. I think he's a lunatic, but I support his right to say what he wants to say. They fined him $900 million for things that he did not actually say over a court case that he was not allowed to defend himself. Okay, so who was it? I think it was, it was actually, he was on Steven Crowder's show today as well. And he highlighted some of the fun things. You know that the bankers that caused the 2008 market crash, the highest fine any of them has achieved was $67 million.
But yet we throw Martha Stewart in jail for inside trading.
Well, yeah, I mean, because she was irrelevant. And so anytime you have an app, you have to be concerned with this type of data collection. Do not assume anything on your phone app. And I know, like I love the Hated Ones channel, but he's been on this push lately that phones are more secure than computers. And I completely disagree, because the apps have more integrations inside of them. I agree with his premise that allegedly on the phone, you can turn off the things with software toggle switches, but that does not mean anything, as we saw in the case where Google was found in Australia to actually be violating privacy laws, where people had things toggled off and Google still knew where they were. And so these are the things that we need to recognize. While on a computer, your applications can be audited for those types of things. You can use Wireshark to see it. You can control the network stack a lot better. There's many things that on a phone. Now, if you're just using a standard Windows computer, for sure, the phones can be more secure than the Windows computer. But for people that have software that you can audit and see what's going on, it is definitely better. To use,
and also the difference between a computer and a phone is that when you are going to use some dating thing, On a phone, you almost have to use an app because it's often it's the only way to communicate with the site.
Yep.
Whereas on a computer, on a desktop computer, you just open a web browser and go to the website. And if you run an extension like NoScript and so on, then you can toggle on only what you need in order to make the site work, and then all the tracking and analytics and spying do not work. You have much better control on a desktop, even a Windows computer, than a phone when you want to visit those sites.
At least with a computer, you can go in and open files, config files, and stuff like that, and just change and everything else. On a cell phone, you have to do a cell phone complete dump and actually to modify any of the apps or anything that are in it.
Yeah, like I'm using Lineage, and I can do host file adjustments and things like that on my Lineage phone. But I mean, even your Graphene OS and your better, more secure Android apps, you don't have that ability anymore. Now, I could pull all the code, edit the host file, compile it myself, and then use that. I could do that. But if I want to make a change to the host file, I have to do the whole thing again and wipe the whole phone. On Lineage, I have the ability to hot edit the host file.
That's hot, man.
I know, man. It's cool.
Yeah, I use NoScript in my web browser in order to block all the tracking. Because all the tracking, every tracking that is done on the internet, they depend on JavaScript to function. And if you only allow JavaScript from the site that you visit, and a few site that you know and trust, then all tracking is gone with the wind. I remember visiting the Google page for how to where they show you everything that they have collected on you, and every time I visit that page, there is not a single instance of anything. So,
yep, there you go. I did forget to push the start recording button before we started, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave a pinned comment as to where the start time is. So we'll just do that. Save me a little bit of time.
So you do have some footage saved, though. It just didn't go up.
Yeah, like I can in about an hour, I'll be able to download the whole thing, cut it, and re-upload it, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to leave a pinned comment where we start. So that'll work. Anything else on that topic, or should we jump back to comments?
Some of us, like me, we don't use any dating sites or any dating app because the ones that we are interested in dating, they don't use these sites. So,
well, the one that started it all here was Match.com.
Mm-hmm.
And they were one of the first, and it actually did work to some capacities. There were some people that did get hooked up from it until you had Tinder and a bunch of other ones to jump into the fire and make it even worse. And then, the security on the internet went downhill. And, I wouldn't be surprised if Match.com's database got compromised. And that's out there floating around, too.
It probably has. Yeah, so, I mean, good point, though. Just avoid these things. It's not worth it. And, these profiles, even if it's not the phone app you're using, you're still answering probing personal questions. Well, that stuff's going to be used against you, especially they're going to need your phone number.
Match.com was a subscription too. You actually had to pay them monthly to keep your profile up.
Yeah, for sure. We have a couple of viewers over on DLive and the Vampire Frogs over there. He's talking about this being a delicious honeypot, which it is. All dating apps I've heard of have some weird background to them, correct? If you're conservative, just date the old-fashioned way. And he is using EOS. So EOS is based on Lineage and does allow you to edit your host file, as I mentioned. So you can actually do a host file to block bad, malicious, and other stuff on your phone. Saying
that one is also made by this, and EOS is made by the same guy who started Mandriva back in the day.
Yep.
I rarely ever use the web browser on my phone. I mean, I don't even open it up to use it for anything because I'm always near a computer where I can access something.
I don't use apps on the phone. If I need to do anything, I use the web browser instead.
The phone, I don't use the web browser. I don't use any other hookup apps or anything like that, or any Facebook or nothing like that. The only thing I use it for is phone calls and weather.
I don't use my phone for a lot. I do my news articles on it. That's about it.
The
Nobody
interesting
chatting.
the interesting part is that mobile phone these days, if you actually call a young person on their cell phone, they get annoyed because it's actually becoming rude to call people on the phone. So
Yeah, I mean, I remember the time when you simply stopped by somebody's house if you were driving by. You know, it's like, oh my Lord, what are you doing here? You know, without texting or whatever else.
And if you wanted to hook to talk to your buddy, you have to call their parents and ask if he was home.
Yeah, for sure. So we have no comments over there on Rumble yet. 5 viewers over on Rumble, the one platform I have to pay for, and nobody's ever on it.
Rumble's the stumble.
Oh, well, we're going to keep it for a little while longer yet. 14 over on Odyssey. I always wonder what they do with... I always wondered, what do they stuff the sausage with? Well, Jim, you can go to BitChute. I don't know if anywhere else it is at. You can go to BitChute and you can search for a video called How the Sausage is Made. I would recommend not doing it if you do not have a queasy stomach. But it shows you the actual details of both directions transition surgery. So if you are wondering what they stuff the sausage with, go to BitChute and do a search for the video How the Sausage is Made. And you can see it. My way is, if you see flesh, approach and make out of your life a mess. Wait. Car insurance tripled because my Toyota Celica now identifies as a Mercedes-Benz. Well, tell your Mercedes-Benz to identify as a Toyota Celica. My mother half on old Yahoo chats. There you go. The author wrote a book. No one will miss her. There you go. Profiles are what detectives put together to work. Yeah, I know, right? And you just go in and just answer all the questions to build your profile for them, and they just like, hey, we got them all. Like the cost of privacy is not worth the reward in this case. I know, right? Privacy is extremely valuable because it's something you can't expect to get back. And that is the thing. Yeah. See you later, Zach IR. Probably gone by now. Give your profile to a private entity. Hello, stupid. Yeah, you can't say that early January date on the Tubies. That's right. That date. Sounds like that first time I was with that woman on that date.
Speaking of dating, one of the comments on YouTube from Norris, he has no issues with using Windows 11 on my home computer. However, when I watch your streams, I boot into Ubuntu just to not look like I'm cheating.
Yeah, there you go. About to give up on phones entirely. Did a lot of research getting a phone that supports Lineage. I couldn't even completely root it. I could install Lineage OS, but still feel insecure using it. Well, there's a difference between rooting it and having a custom ROM. If you want a phone like that, I mean, look at the Pine phone. It's not going to have all the function you need. But really, I mean, you can just get a dumb phone these days. There's been a resurgence in that, and there are more and more coming out on the market.
And they have better battery life.
Yeah, the idea of Tinder and the others is just to provide casual sex like a digital brothel. Yikes. Yeah, and that's why I'm not really interested in any of them. Let's see. Get two-factor codes on the phone. Most of them of my apps are F-Droid. Yep. I don't do anything two-factor on the phone. Sorry. Dumb phone until I was 14, and as soon as I got my smartphone, everything started going downhill. Yep. That's about right. Not dying is my first retirement project. Only the master was to change sexes due to accidental regeneration too close to mutant on Sakara. Okay. Saucy Tom for president. I don't know if I wouldn't even want to put myself in the same level as Joe Biden. That'd be bad. Live channel is not working off your server. What live channel on my server? I do not have a live channel feeding on my server. The switchedtolinux.com/live is not a live server. That's just showing you the links where you can find it. I could actually put the link to it. I'd be worried about bandwidth where I have, I don't know. Would I worry about bandwidth on this, or could I actually do that? I don't know. I might be able to do that. I don't know. Need some women in a winged helmet and brass bra to ride into the fire in order to smother it. There you go. No one cares about D-Live? Or probably not. Change his name to Ye, I think. Yes, Kanye West is Ye. But if I just talk about, hey, Ye was kicked off of his banking site, you're like, who's that? Why do I care? Oh, Kanye. Oh, wait, what? Yes, Kanye West is now known as Ye. Despite companies that take political standards, they automatically alienate half their potential customers. Yeah. Guess who I will definitely not be creating any new accounts with anytime soon. Not that I would work with a big bank anyway, but.
I have something to say about smartphones and your automobile. Okay. This is something I realized. I got a newer truck. And my old truck, I would use the hands-free thing for the phone because that's all it was good for. The phone rang, you push the button on the steering wheel, and you could talk. And it's about as all it really did. New vehicles tend to download your contacts, download your recents list, download this, and it's all displayable on that big center screen in the middle of the console. And I found it, I tried to hook it up the way it was my old truck, and it would not do it. It wanted everything. And it's like you hit phone, you scroll to the person in your contacts list, hit the button, it tells your phone to dial that number. And I found it really intrusive, so I completely deleted the phone from the truck. But if you're going to use this and your truck needs to go in a service center, make sure you remove all the phones out of the system. Or else somebody in the shop where your vehicle's at is going to be digging around in it.
Yeah, my car has no business being online for anything.
Yeah, I know my van can connect a phone to it. I don't know if it's the more fun or if it's, like Dan was saying, or if it downloads everything. I don't know, and I don't really care.
Nowadays, when you get a vehicle, you have to take some time and bond with it.
Yeah.
The salesman ain't going to tell you everything. The owner's manual is like a phone book. I got some of the information off YouTube for my vehicle. Some guys showed me some neat tricks the vehicle can do. Like if it's really hot outside and you need to get in your vehicle, instead of starting the motor up and letting the AC run to cool it down, you can set the infotainment center in the truck section. So if you hold down the unlock the door button for like 4 seconds, it'll roll all the windows down. And then you can let the heat just exit out of the vehicle. There's all kinds of little tricks in these things that you're not told about unless you go looking for them or, take the time to bond with your vehicle.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that when I get I don't do this too often, but when I do get another car, one thing that I always do is I go through the owner's manual and the books that accompanies the car, because there's always something that's in the manual that's not apparently obvious just by looking at the buttons and what they do.
No, yep. And not only that, there's the lack of buttons that are inside the infotainment center that you have to go through submenu to submenu to submenu to get to these little things in this section. If you hit the tailgate button on your remote control, do you want your tailgate to go down? If you hit it again, do you want it to go back up? I mean, geez, man, it's like they turned it into a rolling pinball machine.
Yeah, I like mine. I don't have too many settings, fairly simple setup, and it serves my particular needs, but that's the thing.
Well, you got a commercial grade vehicle.
I do, different. And that's a big benefit because I don't have any built-in Wi-Fi. As new as the van is, I don't have built-in Wi-Fi, built-in all this other crap. There's a black box in it, but it's not connected. Anything would have to be physically extracted, but that's it, So I like that. Hunter One asked if the feds are at my van door. Nope. And if they come, I can see them coming from several miles in any direction because I'm at the top of a mountain. And only one road is up here.
Which is why they are waiting for you to start streaming in order to close in on your position.
Probably. I mean, and I did have to put up the blinds up there at the front, so, and they're on the back too. So I don't know, they might just be right around the corner, but that's okay. I'll just get in there, push drive, and go right on down the mountain.
These infotainment centers that they put in the center of the console in the vehicle are extremely dangerous too. If you got to push buttons and things on them, and you're driving down the road, it's worse than texting on your cell phone.
It is.
Driving.
Actually, they did studies. It is, because you have to take your eyes off the road to see the touch screen versus the tactile buttons.
Yes.
Things like that. Yeah, we are coming up on 8, so we're going to jump off here. I can shut the computer down and make sure I have a good full battery going into the morning as well. But yeah, I'll go ahead and leave a pinned comment here where it starts on this one. So I'll track that down here as soon as I can play back the video. With that, though, guys, tomorrow weekly news roundup probably will have a video on Saturday, but I'm not 100% sure until tomorrow happens, but we'll see. And with that, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.